Welcome back to Independent Chick. I'm your host, Dana Foster. And now we're speaking with Robbie Mydonick. And what are we chatting about today?
Today we're going to touch on the automotive industry in general, some misconceptions that people have, and talk about some insurance products that are out there to benefit you in the event of an accident.
Now, this is a subject for myself. I was mentioning earlier, I grew up with a dad who was a mechanic, so this is the stuff that I was kind of like, oh, you deal with, and then finally when I got older, it was like, wait a minute, this is stuff that I need to know. But what are some of the biggest mistakes that women do make when it comes to the automobile world?
Well, a lot of people just follow, like you said, what their dad has put in place for them. They go to the same guy, or they don't really do the research to find somebody that is available for automobile repair or mechanical upkeep. They don't find somebody for themselves to be a good fit, and they really don't look into the insurance products that are available. They just kind of take what was given to them and don't ask any questions.
So what sort of things would someone be looking at? What sort of options would they have?
With insurance?
Yeah.
With insurance, we always try to tell everybody about ALU.
Okay.
ALU is auto loss of use insurance. What that means is if you're in an accident, whether you are at fault or not, you would be put into a vehicle right away with no downtime. Whereas a lot of people who do not have ALU, they have to wait essentially, and they're left without a vehicle. And so somebody like a single mom of two, they depend on their car. They need their vehicle all the time, and that can become a very stressful situation.
And I've never heard of this. Do people not just know?
People don't ask.
So it's your responsibility to start asking about the options.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And a lot of people find that, like MPI, MPI is MPI, but they don't really educate the consumer on all of the products that are there.
All right. So what should women be doing when it comes to their insurance and their automobile?
Well, absolutely. They should read what their insurance entails.
Okay.
One thing we always suggest is looking at what your deductible actually is, because the different levels of deductible, they range from 500, 300, 201, and they all come with a lot of different coverages. So the $500 may cost a little bit less annually, but it really doesn't give you a lot of option and a lot of coverage. Whereas the significant difference between 5 and 200, 200 really does cover a lot.
What would you like women to start doing when it comes to their maintaining their vehicles?
Being more proactive. I mean, like I said, like a little bit earlier, it's very important to find a auto body shop or a mechanical shop or both. Some of like mine, we're both. Finding one that fits you, finding one that you're going to be comfortable going to, because having a good auto body shop that's you can be very dependent on is important, so that you can have a good, long, trusting relationship, because you're going to have a vehicle for quite a long time, and it's important to have somebody that you're comfortable working with forward.
And if somebody gets into an accident, what should her first steps be?
Well, of course, you're going to pull over. It's not a fun situation, so we always recommend to get the pertinent details, even if somebody thinks that there's not a lot of damage. It's just a little scuff. Always exchange details, no matter what. Especially if your vehicle's dirty, you don't know what's going to be underneath that dirt. And secondly, always make sure to get the information from the other driver, get the time and the weather conditions and the location of where you are.
I never thought of the weather conditions, but that would be a huge factor into being into an accident.
Well, it factors in a lot to do with liability. At the end of it, when insurance is being determined, it can be beneficial or against you, but it is always important to document it.
Do things change throughout the different seasons when it comes to your plans and how you maintain your vehicle?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, two major seasonal, if you will, inspections you should have are in the springtime and in the fall, preparing for winter and summer. Especially in somewhere like Manitoba, we have such extremes going off of last winter.
So funny. I was thinking 2 seasons, summer and winter, not the seasons before. That's how I think. Oh, it's winter, I better go and...
No. And that's the thing. It's being proactive. It's being that step ahead. I mean, a lot of people, even just something as simple as getting your winter tires put on, something as simple as getting them put on, end of October, beginning of November, rather than waiting till we're in a crazy storm in December, right? Like it's kind of taking the one step forward before.
I always ask this about tires. That's always my biggest thing. Should you have summer and winter tires or all seasons? Well, it depends where you live.
No, in Manitoba, you absolutely should have winter tires. It's basically the difference of stopping and kind of stopping. And in a place like Manitoba, where we get crazy snow all the time, it literally can be life and death. The difference of the two products, like a great all season isn't even comparable to a bad winter tire. So, I mean, myself personally, I wouldn't go without doing the switch, because you got to think about driving in a nice, beautiful summer day in Winnipeg versus when it's minus 45 and we're getting 3 feet of snow. Those are very big extremes. So those products are designed for that exact situation.
Good to know. So just before we wrap things up, what's so cool about you is that you're a woman in the automobile world. Yeah. How did you get involved in this?
Well, my dad and I own and operate our company.
Yeah.
It was my dad, he was a technician by trade and operated a hobby shop, for a vast majority of my life. And situation just kind of came upon us. It fell on our lap to start our own business. And the year after I graduated high school, we launched in May 2005, so almost 10 years now. And we turned it into our full-time operation.
You must get so many women asking you questions about what
absolutely.
to do. Yeah.
And I really do strongly encourage it, especially on our social media. We're always accessible, and Instagram, Pinterest, going on Facebook, all that kind of stuff. And it's a very simple way for women to reach out and ask those silly questions that they're not really comfortable asking. And we always encourage, every question is a good question.
All right, well, we'll have that information up on the screen for anybody who might have some more questions for you. Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Thank you.
We've been speaking with Robbie Mydonick. We'll be right back right after this. We've got some interesting, fun stuff coming up in just a bit. We'll be right back.